Надеюсь, ребят, ничего не пропустил. Надеюсь, ничего такого клевого не пропустил. Иначе это джиджишка. Так. Забираем. Надеюсь, ребят, ничего не пропустил. Надеюсь, ничего такого клевого не пропустил. Так, я тут резко, ребят, резко. Как долго я этого ждал. Добби, здорово. Сколько чемпионат уже идет по времени? Скажи, пожалуйста. Я сильно не опоздал, надеюсь. О, Нэм, здорово, дружище. Трайп сливают. В смысле трайп сливают? А, ну... Стоп, чего? Я голосовал за кого? Трайп против... Так. Ладно, окей, за кого я голосовал? Точно не помню. Где звук? А, вот он. Все, ребят, let's go смотреть. Имбава. Рил, Согл. Первая катка. А, хух. Отлично. Здорово, ребят, я еще ничего не пропустил. Ребят, я ничего такого не пропустил, скажите, пожалуйста. Надеюсь, нет. Сегодня будем уже на другом аккаунте фармить. Очки на основу. О, Кирюха, привет, Каркарыч. Мы смотрим со второго аккаунта. Так. Привет. Так. Трайп сливает. За кого голосовал? Честно, уже не помню. По-моему, за Трайп голосовал. Вы за кого голосовали? Скажите, пожалуйста. Че, опять будем 5 месяцев смотреть? Вот Нейм, Добби, Зацинчика не хватает. Зацинчика еще не хватает. О, Найт побеждает Трайп. А нет, 26. Ага, побеждает. Давай. Просто если звука не будет, нажми за звук, не походу. Я за Трайп, хорошо, я заценил. Ага, понял. Победили, да ну. Красавчики Трайп. Понял, красавчики. Я тоже, по-моему, за Трайп голосовал, если не ошибаюсь. Знаешь, это кто? Это, по-моему... Можно посмотреть, за кого я голосовал? Он 35, найс. Ребят, у вас сколько уже? Скажите, пожалуйста, Нейм. Сколько у тебя? Сколько у тебя уже очков? Трапик слил. Думаю, да. Самое интересное играть в игры. Вот так я... Я походу понял, кто это. 145. Ну, я надеюсь больше. Я походу понял, кто это. Ну ладно. Окей, привет, друзья. Здесь это наверное какие-то. Ты как думаешь, будут продлевать дорогу в подарку для двухка? Может быть, не, хотя вряд ли. 145. Понял. Так, ну все, поворачиваем и смотрим тогда. Сюда. Ребят, звук есть у меня, да? Звук есть? Да, звук есть. Да, найс. Все, let's go. Здесь вообще Трайп что творят. Рио, они жесткие. А вопросов никаких не было с ним? Добби не было? Зачем говорили на что? На то спрей. Ну да. Слыхал такое-то, да. Так. Смотрим, секунду надо. Я отключу кое-что здесь, чтобы мне уведомление. Все, ребят. Первый бой. Все, Трайп победили? Да ну. Красавы, ребятки, пацаны. Молодцы, что победили. Трайб сила. Согласен. Я надеюсь, что Нави все-таки выиграет. Трайб. Трайб сейчас очень крутые. О! Ноткет, привет, друзья. Спасибо, что забежал на стрим. Трайб сейчас очень крутой. Да-да-да, я с тобой согласен, дружище. Это матчпоинт или нет еще? А, черный экран опять? Да ё-моё.
All of Zest was taking game number 1 is such a great statement over a team like Tribe Gaming EU, but what really matters is those set victories. That is what actually gets you closer to taking a match win.
Absolutely, and I think Tribe just escaped a big... You know, any sort of connections after those Daryl rolls and
Опять черный экран. Да чё, блин? Я, блин, забыл, как это и вчера. А, вот, все появилось, по-моему. Да, все появилось. А, в Трайбе Найн. А, вот что думаю знакомо. Драк. О, все, все. Так, все. Карт, горячая зона, горячая зона. Кого они сюда, думаю? Ну, сюда можно Байрона, Бита, Поку, Бива, Спайка. Как вам такое? Легенда. Да-да-да, согласен, Ноткет. Карта, да, прикольно. О, Сту взяли, Сту. Так. Сквика. Сквика тоже, кстати... Ну ладно. О, Сту. Рил. Ребят, кто кем будет? Получается, Сту это нейм? Я второй тогда, я второй. Давайте я второй. Как вчера. Вместо этих игроков. Пока, я так знал, нейм ты первый в Трайбе. Я второй буду в Трайбе. Я тогда второй. Я люблю эту карту, потому что я легенда в лиге здесь. Я легенду? Ничего себе, хорош, Ноткет хорош. Я третий. Хорошо, Кирюх, давай. А нет, третий Добби, по-моему. Я раньше сказал второй. Ну ладно, тогда, Кирюх, ты третий будешь, давай. Добби второй. Окей, я просто не услышал. Окей, Добби второй. Это ласкатка была, на которой я... Красавчик, Ноткет. Лучше третий. Да мы не об этом, мы типа кто играть будет. Амбер. Добби, ты за Амбер. Третий форт. Ты о чем? Ты о чем, дружище? Не пофиг какой. Ну, ладно. О, Лолу взяли. Лолу Трайб взяли. Окей. Как скажете, Лолу так Лолу. Я Игулейна, а я Гуэлена Дина. Ага, понял. Так, наибольшее исцеление. Понял, Драк, все понял. Так, пока ничего не появляется, да? Кстати, ребят, мне вчера скин дали почти сразу. Скин мне пришел на аккаунт. Вообще лют имба. Дальше очки не дадут после 1000. Ну, я уже знаю, да. Ну все, let's go, поехали. О, пин. Пин 145. И сколько? 145, да. Ева Гриф Ворон. Понял. Мы на двух аках забираем. Я вот тоже сейчас на втором забираю. Тоже сейчас мне надо на втором забрать. Что с Гейлом? Они делать буду ор. Они делать будут ор. Ну, кстати, да. Что-то у них не очень так хорошо идет. Надеюсь, Трай победят в этот раз. Но самая интересная игра это будет про Нави. Как себя покажут Нави? Это очень интересно. Так. Z1 лучше, чем Z0. Да, я уже, ну, я знаю. Z1 лучше, чем Z0. Так. Найс, выигрывают, хорошие пацаны, красавчики. Красавчики. Против нами очень сильная команда. Против нами... О, хороший канал. Жека стрим опубликовал. Да, это я знаю. Вот Трай против есть. Но я надеюсь, все-таки не победят Нави. Все-таки я за Нави голосовал. Очень хочу надеяться, что они победят. Три мужики я вижу, да, я вижу. Видно, на меня уведомление пришло. И? О, здесь победили. Окей, ладно. Нави топ, согласен, Каркар, да. Ладно, блин, плохо. Что, я случайно проголосовал и не увидел, что... но и болею за Трайв. Так, пинчик. 155, отлично. Я знаю, случайно проголосовал. Но я все-таки за Нави болею. Я за Нави все-таки. За Нави топлю. А и вот если сейчас эти проиграют Трайб, Зесту, это будет очень плохо. Очень плохо. Мне так не надо. Завтра, по-моему, третий день, и он, по-моему, финальный, если я не ошибаюсь. Если не ошибаюсь, он, по-моему, финальный, действительно. Там финал и полуфинал будет, и суперфинал. Давайте, парни, тащите. О, хорош. Че у нас тут хорош? Че у нас тут хорош? Ну я к Жеке сбегаю, посмотрю много и приду обратно. Хорошо, Добби, давай, удачи. К Жеке сбегаю, посмотрю немного и приду обратно. Хорошо, давай, Добби, давай. Кинь ссылку на Жеку. Я сейчас не могу, сейчас на чемпионат Киркару смотрим. Брать сюда Гейла против Сту. Ну, да, не согласен. Видос будет не... У Жеки видос будет, не стрим. А, видос будет? У Жеки видос будет. У Жеки видос будет, не стрим. А, да? Понял, тогда понял. А, блин, я что-то руки, походу, плохо помыл там. Разбирал кое-что. Как катка закончится, я быстренько схожу там до умывальника. Мыться надо. Найди канал Жеки. Канал Жеки называется «Хороший канал». Хороший канал. Напиши «Хороший канал», там у тебя, по-моему, сразу выйдет. Хороший трэп гейминг, победили. Так, вторая катка. Если сейчас они побеждают, то все, матчпоинт. Дай, по-моему, даже-ка? Ой, нейм. Надеюсь, что да. Так, Том Джак хорош. Ну, кстати, прошлый раз, Нейм, ты что, диск кидаешь? А, да, кстати, я помню тебя. Нейм, ты с хифуна зашел, на диск кинул. Ну ладно. Думаю, ну ладно, что поделать. Кинул, так кинул. Так, хороший трайп, побеждает. Красавчики, тащите, давайте. Давай, вы... А, что, Зэс в прошлый раз побили? Да ну. А, нет. Трайп, не, норм. Не сдержался. Понял. Понял, дружище. Длина и драк Тома. В прошлый раз, короче, они Нави батярили, типа, говорили, ну, короче, у него 600 фичка. Да, Кируха, да-да-да. Короче, говорили, что они типа боты показывали знак бота. Опа, дизлайк кинули, да ну. Ну что я и говорю. Еще диз. Типа, вот что я и говорю, токсичные они. Диск кинули, еще один. Найс. Все, это матчпоинт, по-моему, да? Теперь Тоби. Угу. Ну, в принципе, им все равно на дизлайк. Все равно. Да, о, все получается. Ну, все получается, Трай победили, да? Следующая катка. Я бы тоже не скинул против них тупой пик. Ну... Есть такое, да. Следующая игра Z Division. Это не то. Да, Z Division Zero. Потом частный гейминг, Бразилия. Потом Трай гейминг. Трай гейминг и Нави. Окей. Верит, что нами победят. Очень хочу надеяться. Так, кстати, тебя сейчас я приду. Секунду.
That's the kind of stuff that reveals, these are pro players. They had to work so hard, they had to play so well to get to this stage. It's got to be some external force causing that stuff to happen.
No, you make a valid point, and honestly, I think looking at the draft, I think the call was a final pick, right, for Zest. So when you have a final pick, and it's probably the least impactful one on the entire map, a bit of a mistake there. That if they managed to rectify, I feel like they really could have just taken that set. So a bit sad for them because
так, ребята, здесь все. Так, кто уже играет? Все еще они, что ли? Вот топ-карта. Все еще они играют? Так, когда будет сюжет по Майнкрафту? Я не знаю. Посмотрим. У нас пока чемпионат мира. Посмотрим, когда будет видос по Майнкрафту. Так, с нами пока ничего не давали нам? Пока ничего не давали? Если Старс забирает режим, то они дальше какой альтеслив. Да? Понял. Нет, кстати, ничего. Подъехали. И да. А Трайб на это кто? Трайб гейминг на. Который будет играть который против Нави. Это кто? Джин 10 метров. Так, все. Норм. Ребят, за звуки пока. Секундочку.
Otis is going to be on the side of Zest. Any comps your favor here, ready?
Все. Так, Отис, Ротис. Ну ладно, Грифа ГЗ. Ну сейчас узнаем. Ида подъехала. Ида, найс. Главное не пропустить вопросы и не пропустить дедок. О! Не пропустить монетку. Найс. Может, и слив у Драйва. Ну, я надеюсь, они трайп не сольют. Очень хочу надеяться. Смотрим, смотрим, смотрим. Да блин, куда он переворачивается? Телефон. 185, мне 175. Бравл пасу сказать, когда будешь. Я уже открыл. Приятная пицца. Спасибо, Кирилл, спасибо. Все, почему я боюсь? Да, как вчера нас скамили. Аккуратно, челик, аккуратно. Найс. Красава. Хорош там. Там баги, когда карта показывается. Да-да-да, я понял, ну вот, точнее, знал. Ну, типа, вчера у нас камери так жестко. Смотри, пока ребята молчу, я просто. На кнопки надо нажимать почаще, чтобы не забываться. Не забываться, что. Так.
Need to be careful now as the gas is gonna force them into the mid. Alonso taking a little bit of damage. Gonna place
жмут трайб, жмут, ё-моё. Блин. GG-шка. Или нет? Да, блин, ну ладно. Если бы его тиса не было, может быть, затащили. Пусть ротись. Да, нет, то есть нужно все. Нет, не было. Окей. Окей. Если я тоже, кто-то сейчас тоже кушает, то тоже вам приятно. Там лютое, что-то лютое происходит. Лютый контент. Найс. Красавчики. Ну. Все, хорош трай, победили. Красавцы. Победа трай. Повезло. Да, за согласен. Красавцы, трай. Так, все, одна палочка заполнена. Так, удали Кирилла из клуба 200. Хорошо, Кирилл, хорошо, давай. Все, матчпоинт. Ну, еще посмотрим. Ну, надеюсь, что да, матчпоинт. Да, уже о матчпоинте говорят. О, 185, найс. Еще 15 штук и будет 200. Надеюсь, я не получу этот пин. Найс, хорош. Найс, гаджет. Ну ладно, окей.
More or less even things out. However, 2 supers available on Zest could be quite significant. Tom in trouble. Tom 1 HP.
Тома нажимает и все минус Том. Ну, остался гриф. Вряд ли гриф что сделает. Да, блин, ладно. Короче, Норм перс. Норм перс? Ну, за него играет хороший. Естественно.
Certainly a commendable effort there towards the end by Lena, but they still need to get a couple of rounds in here in order to close out the match. Oh, early kill there, Tom. He popped the gadget to get that kill shot onto Loco, and now already it's a 2v3. This is not looking good for Zest as we speak. They can afford to lose this round when it's suboptimal. Here comes a kill on Lena, and now it's even down to a 2v2.
Wow. Beautiful stuff. Lena with an overextension. Pull! Connects again from Drage, and he has been on point.
Нажимаем на монетку, тыкать не забываем. Так, осталось бия. Если все, исчез завалят, то будет охуенно.
Heal back, and the Gene is constantly able to chip, damage him. He does get his super, but he does go.
Все, красавчики. Красавчики Трайб Гейминг. Молодцы.
Well, on the side of Zest, for what it's worth, they have 3 supers to work with. Loco's going to go for a silence, missed.
Если, ребят, кто на стриме сейчас есть, то можете, пожалуйста, поставить лайк на стриме. Ну, так, чисто поддержка была. Чисто лайкусик на стрим. Гасит сейчас, то все, будет матчпоинт. О, закрыл видос. Видос вышел. Окей. Видос так видос.
Yeah, that tree super advantage has shifted around. Now we have tree on the side of Tribe. Who is gonna take the game and potentially the match here?
Так, давайте тащите, тащите.
In a good position. Let's see if Zest can even get out of that spawn position. They are starting to move back towards the mid. Eventually, the gas will force them to Alonso. Has very low HP. Some good tanking from Loco to keep him up as the thick head comes in. Connection out to Tommy's low HP. It's a bit of a mess. One kill, 2 kills, 1v1, no one.
What?
Finds the
Ну,
kill.
капец.
Not out. Just
Лили, ё-моё, так обидно.
Tribe off as yet another set.
Так обидно. Ой, ладно. Вот что я тебе и Нэми говорил. Такое тоже бывает. Кэмбэк. Монетка. 195, отлично. Давайте сейчас. В этот раз должны сейчас затащить. Давайте, парни. Найс уже. Ничего. Best position. Все это, GG-шка, GG. Или нет? Да, все, GG. Отлично, отлично затащили. Красавцы. У меня 205, мне норм. Я понял, Нэйм понял. Так, давай. Выжил чел, да, хорош. Притянул бомбу. Случайно. Найс, 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 найс. Найс, хорош. Хорош. Остался Озис. По нотис остался. Че, аккуратно надо. Аккуратно им играть. Он может камбэкнуть. Так, и, ну, жмите, ну, жмите, и все, найс, красавчики. Все, Прайс соло. Да-да-да, Нэйм, отлично, все, матчпоинт. 150 очков, 125 очков нафиг. Красава Трайб. Ну, найс, все. Трайб Гейминг победили, красавы. Ура! Все, победа! Все, давайте, зачисляйте наши 125 очков. Зачисляйте около. Так, ваш прогноз был все, найс, 320. Трайб. Сейчас, по-моему, Z0. Все победа, найс. 320 штук, отлично. Сейчас кто играть будет? Это Division против Jasmine Gaming. Все, я понял. О, так, о, найс. Этого матча. Драк, по-моему. Да ну, ес. Сейчас за это. Все, 420 у меня, отлично. Сейчас за это, да-да-да. Ой, сори, за это. Халява, рил. Ладно, ребят, сейчас я приду одну секундочку.
It sort of worked in the first game of that set, and it sort of fell flat after that. Tom, oh man, with 11 kills and knockout, and for a game mode like knockout, that is super meaningful. This is the world champion of 2019 of the roster, seriously showing why he still got it.
Yeah, I mean, Tom, man, the anchor truly for Tribe Gaming EU, and we expect Rage and Lena to pop off most of the time, but he's always there, always performing, and our MVP does go to Drage. He performed brilliantly in the two first sets, and honestly, even in the third, those gene pools were violent, true in and true out. The 17-year-old British player was yet again a great performance, as we'd expect from Tribe Game.
Extremely impressive, and also laying to rest any concerns about a maybe inconsistent roster as well. As we move towards the end of the year, they started getting very, very dominant, and even versus a team like Zest, admittedly, they did lose 3 games overall across all of those sets. But I think we can really chalk that up to a strong showing from Zest. But as far as tomorrow, I mean, we still got to find an opponent for them, sure, but I expect a strong showing from this team.
Yeah, it did not feel like Tribe were, you know, struggling, to be fair. It felt like Zest were just a much fiercer opponent than most of us have anticipated. It does mean that 2 out of our 3 Latin South teams are now officially out. There's 1 left, and you guys
Так, все, ребят, я здесь. Ничего такого не было? Все нормально было? О, вопросы. Кто дальше? Ну, естественно, мирового финала имеет только 3 игрока в составе. Ребят, сколько? Скажите, пожалуйста, сколько? Походу, да, ребят, скажите, пожалуйста, нейм. Скажи, пожалуйста. 4. Я же хотел 3 нажать. Блин, поздновато. Ё-моё. Да я же хотел 3. Что за ерунда? Почему мне так с чемпионатом этим не везет? Я же хотел 3 нажать. Ё-моё. Я еще раз буду так нажимать то, что мне подскажет моя интуиция. Ну всем.
The same org, right? They got knocked out by Zeta Division 1 yesterday. So, brutal start of the World Finals here for both Latin South and Chasmac specifically. I mean, it's a tough one for Chasmac here because Zeta are just so good.
Well, let's flip the script, right? Zeta Division here, let's talk about them. It's been a pretty good World Final so far for Zeta Division, the sister team as well, and just the East Asia region.
Так, все, ребят, я тоже хотела на 3, но нажал 4. Жиза, жиза. Я 3 нажал. О, Кирюх, молодец. Молодец. Так, за это 85% с победой. Отлично. Сейчас будем 70 открывать. Зета против Jasmine Gaming. Бразилия. Так. О, добрый тренер, хорош. А мы с неймом нажали одни, походу. Мы с неймом, походу, одни нажали это. Хотели 3, но нажали 4. Так. Повезло. Да-да-да. Я собрал 1000 очков, но, видимо, Тару мне придется задержкой. Привет, Байтур, привет. Мы тоже собрали уже 1000 очков, но это сейчас на твинке собрали, сейчас на снова собираем. Заберу. 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 Я уже понял. Так. Я надеюсь, что продаст подарки, то у меня уже 1000 очков. Ну, у нас уже тоже было с неймом. И с Доби тоже было. Попробуй на другой аккаунт. Люси Пуси. Рил. Ну-ка, как меня слышно? Главное, чтобы этих звуков не было слушания, иначе я иногда случайно задеваю. Как меня слышно? Главное, чтобы этих звуков не было слушания, иначе я иногда случайно задеваю. Так, все. Так, вроде бы нормально. Так, все. Так, вроде бы нормально. Так, все, убираем. Ну все, за это удачи вам. За эти удачи. Это Доби, Нейм. Вы за это уже проголосовали, да? Надеюсь, что да. Сейчас будет песня? Песня? О, давай. Прикольно будет. Завтра будет стрим? Да нет, да, завтра, Нейм. Завтра будет стрим? Нейм, завтра обязательно стрим. Завтра я должен обязательно стрим запустить, обязательно. Завтра, надеюсь, да, стрим будет. Надеюсь, будет, согласен. Думаю, да. А это ей год, друг котик. Год пройдет, настанет время, когда столь ветром сраный унесет, но из-за памяти незаметно никогда не уйдет, когда не попадет, только жизнь новый подтечет. Если не ошибаюсь, это либо Доби, либо Пахан. Я болею за Зету. Я тоже за Зету. Тоже за Зету. Надеюсь, что Зета победит. Если это Пахан, привет. Если Доби, то тоже привет. Я первый раз за этих, второй, третий решайте сами. Ну, давайте тут из 23 я буду зрителем. Все, удачи за это, удачи вам. Я понял, Кирюха, понял, обидно, очень обидно. Самая интересная игра, это будет третья. Давай, окей, Кирюх, давай. Самая интересная игра, это будет третья игра. Да, первый, то Тоби второй, Кирилл третий. Доби... Все, понял. Самая интересная игра, это будет третий матч. Третий матч там вообще Ная против Трейгейминга. Тенсай. О, Тенсай я знаю. Да-да-да. Так, с Ротиса. Участь гейм с Ротис. Понял. Стрим уже, ребят, 39 минут. Нифига себе, быстро не пролетели. Нормально. Рил быстро полетели 39 минут. Так, Зета Пенни. Все, всегда беру Тотиса или Газа. Да-да-да, только знаю, теперь не напад... Ой, так много читать не хочу, Паханчик. Или Доби. О, Зетвин, здорово, дружище, спасибо, что забежал. 40 минут стрима идет. Ну ладно, где Нави? Нави третий будет. Нави третья игра. Паханчик, если ты не спами, пожалуйста. Нави следующая игра. Да-да-да. Ох, удачи, Нави, удачи. Рил. Так, о, стул взяли, стул. Тогда топ. Угу. Мы уже за 31-ми угадали. Трайб Гейминг победили. Трайб Гейминг победили. Там, кого они не играли, не помню уже. Уже не помню. Добби, ты Пенни, я Сту. Окей, давайте. Кто я? По-моему, ты Паханчик или Добби. Так, мусорку взяли. Мусорку так мусорку. Мне лень голосовать на втором маке, я же забрал ее. Ну да, понял, зато понял. Я посмотрел, но до сих пор не пришло, я жду, не дождусь скин. Я... понятно, очень понятно. Дружище, понятно очень. Главное это основа. Понял, зато понял тебя. Согу. Ну, да, дружище. Я сначала на твинке собрал, который мне очень нужен, по 25 рангов. Сейчас на основе собираем. На основе. У меня уже 400, сколько? 30 либо 40. Угу. Гейл. Что, ребят, катка. 440, да, найс. Монетка. Поем новую песню. Ну, мы вот тут смотрим, дружище. Смотрим чемпионат. Поэтому на длинное сообщение не смогу ответить в истории. Все-таки чемпионат это очень важно. Так. Дайте большую удачу. Ну что? Ладно, я за противников. Макс, хорошо, ну не отвечай. А, Добби все-таки это ты. Ну не отвечай, ну ты не обижайся, Доббиан, если что, не обижайся. Дружище. Ну еще можешь петь песню, если хочешь. Я не против. Не против, не против, не против. Против. То есть не против. Очки без просмотра будут приходить? Если не смотреть, то не будут. На песню не отвечай. Хорошо, Добби, хорошо, давай. Если ты не будешь смотреть ЧМ, то не будут. Если будешь, то будут. 0-0 пока. Очки только за предикт буду давать. Ну да, Нейм. Ну и вот еще вот за эти вот монетки. А за вопросы нет. Почему же за вопросы 10 штук же дают? 10 очков этих. Блин, забили гол. За это давайте тупой сайт. Рил. За это тащи. Что и надо? Как он так в конце матча забили гол? Макс чисто бежит. И на гол. У нас слишком сложно, если не, где только за предикт. Ну да, Нейм. Правильно. Найс, 450. Второй матч. Второй матч. Я ставил за чекмак. Да? А я ставил за зету.
Let's see if they can hold it up as Tensai does get muted. He goes down. Guru in a tough positioning.
Ну пока Чакмак не дает людей. Неплохих таких.
Keeps him too low to really attempt any sort of push. That means that for now, Zeta Division are still in the clear. Pekka has that.
А чем 21 года кошка воровка Джесси?
We'll talk about quickness. Here comes Pekka on the left side. He's got some bad intentions. Oh no, he's going for it. Well, it pays off at least in the form of one kill. Choppy's going to attempt to play it defensive with the ball. Good kill as well on the Pekka. Yeah, that's the kind of thing you can only get away with one time a match. Tufa, he also had an idea of going for that ball, but Kuru respawned just in time. He does have his rage meter filled all the way up. It's going to peter off a little bit, but he does get the speed tag from Pekka. Now looks for positioning. Has to be cautious of the 10 side because that is his biggest counter. And here comes a little bit of damage from Fire. Kuru continues to charge forward. Taken down in close range by Pekka. It's now down to a 3v2. A Choppy. He could get close in here if he's not careful. Great stun. Tensai with a fire up towards the top side. Still gets taken down.
Музыка побеждала. Блин, их жмут. Что за ерунда? Опять гол! Ну вы чё на? Ну вы чё на, Зета? За кого я голосовал тогда? За кого я тогда голосовал? Да, Чакмак не зря пошел в совет Нави. Почему он ММА голосовал за Зету? Я смотрел, за Зету голосовал. Игра против меня на дуэль на Биби, он назвал меня ботом, а он взял Тары. Я Биби, и я его слил. Ну, домой. Нормально. Ну, налево, Зета проиграла, что за ерунда? Неправильно. 1-1 было впервые лол. Нет, не впервые. Там уже было у нас в первом дне. Я попался в КВ против ММА. Да? Ты все хорош. Это не в форме. Ну, может быть. Если будет. Ну, домой. На, первый гол. И второй гол забрать, ё-моё. Первый день 3-0 было, а сейчас 1-1. А, да? О, понял тогда. Ну, я голосовал после этого Эдика. Ну, я, в принципе, Добби понял, да. That you don't, and what Chazback Gaming BR knows as well, how to get a whole lot of kills, but it seems like Kuru also tuned into those lectures as well, because the guy's looking pretty clean with some kills on his side. However, да, первый Z 0 было, ой, Z 1. Z1 было. Там Z Division 0, Z Division 1 было. Это Z Division 0. По 0. Тенсай, да, я помню, он жестко на макс играет вообще. Возможно, когда-нибудь я, Нейм и Добби можем будет также играть против Нави. Может быть, а может быть и нет. Да ладно, я шучу. А чё я шучу? А может быть и будем. А может и не будем. Ну, посмотрим. Какой-то у них мусорка тащит. Не-не, я понял, я просто говорю, Тенсай, чего такой? Ты первый. Хорошо, давай, Кирюха, давай. Пит-стоп. Response, however, not going to be Barley. It is banned out. There are abundant ways to deal with it, but Carl has also been banned out. Penny, maybe something, but anything that can pierce through those sandbags is going to be quite viable. Хочу уже против Наев, чтобы Трайп сражался. A lot of other simply good options that you can go for here. A lot of things that Chazback Gaming VR could go for. They can get creative here with a couple of picks on their side. Вот что такое спец? Ну да, может быть.
plentiful of options.
Ricochet.
Rico is definitely one
Okay.
I love. I feel like Rico is still in a really good place. Bouncy Castle is one of the stronger gadgets in the game.
Нейм дайте. Хорошо, давай, нейм давай.
Enables him so many different options in
Вот,
this
ребят, давайте.
games. In the pure 1v1, he is more often than not going to be superior.
Ну, блин, я террорист.
As well, and the super counters the heck out of rough sandbags too. So you have some great matchups there. Let's see what Chessmack Gaming BR decide to pair it with, and it's gonna be an Otis.
По-любому, у Бальтура миллион кубков в Бравл Старс. Ну, возможно, возможно.
Especially once he got buffed, we saw him a lot in heist. Not very successful most of the time, but teams have really figured out how to.
Охуенно для меня, нубок. Понял, Байтурчик, понял тебя. Хорош. Опять Ротис.
So much DPS with Otis. Just shoot at the sandbags.
Ранг у меня на ней первый ранг только. Первая сила.
Now, what I'm not a fan of is how it's gonna interact with Otis and how it's gonna interact with
Я низу взял. Окей, давайте. А первый это кто? Первый это Кирюха. Я ее сюда из чемпионата разнесу. Просто мне не приняли, сказали, я слишком скилловый. Нормально. Нормально, нормально.
I don't know, I'm never convinced by the need, at least not in the recent meta. I want to be surprised, I want to be shocked, and Zeta Division 0, they have the capability to do so for sure.
Well, there is a wall break possibility. You can maybe. I think really the big story here is that Nita, she's here expressively to counter out a tank as a last pick from Chessmack Gaming BR, which is.
Так, ребят, пока ничего не появлялось, никаких вопросов не было. Здесь нет. Спайк взяли, окей. Окей, окей.
Here's a spike though, and I think really every single one of these brawlers is going to be fairly good versus Nita. The only exception in my mind is Otis because he can't.
Для него даже Геулия бот. Ну, да-да-да. О, монетка. 460. Раньше же ему, если не ошибаюсь, то раньше же ММА, по-моему, в Z0 был. Z Division 0, а не в Наре. По-моему, в одиночке был. В 0, то есть. Z 0. Ну вы Рику, гоните, вы Рику не добили. Аккуратно играть в телеке.
Let's see how this one plays out as Kuru also gets into a good angle on the left side. Choppy on the right side, he's making sure to go for some pinches here. Here's the bear, it's going right over that wall, and now it's Tooth and Pekka's problem with the faux fur. It's taking so much damage, and now with all the...
Nice, run!
...made out, Tensai and Kuru get to commit. Fire Crow, he silences a sandbag. Oh no! Pekka, he still has a super. Could be a bouncy castle pretty soon. You have to wait for that shot to reload.
У нас, ребят, урон идет. Сори, звуки. Вот Тенсай на легенде, да-да-да. Он на Макс, да. Рил, Тенсай на Макс, но... Вообще жесткий на этой Макс. Сейчас слился. Так, Брус. Чарминг, оказывается, 0-1, они побеждают. Да-да-да, Найм, я вот что и говорю. Это очень плохо. Очень плохо. Все, Спайк пошел урон нанести. Нет, Тенсай где скилл потерял. Да, Тенсай скилл где скилл потерял. Да-да-да.
this obstacle. Little trade out there on the mid lane. Pekka still trying to body block as best as he can, but there's only 15
Помню, как он раньше вообще раздавал жестко по жесткому.
Certainly working on it. Curveballs coming in, perfectly dodging out the safe. He needs to get something in there. Here's the super. It's not going to be enough. They need a lot.
Нет.
Have a lot to offer as well. How are things looking on the enemy safe? Well, Chazback Gaming VR.
GG, ё-моё.
But there's no response. And Chazback Gaming
Слид.
VR take a third.
2-0.
Oh my
55 минут, да.
Chazback are on fire. They were behind
Что творит
for the
ЗТ?
vast majority of that game.
Какой
And yet, the
слив?
last couple of seconds, they turn it around. I think Kuru
Сольётис будет
right
матч
inside
спон.
was just, you know, doing, sorry,
Тут даже вон 89% за Зету проголосовали, то что она победит.
Tons of value, and just that positioning was key in unlocking things further on. Let's see if we see a second set in the hands of Chazback, or if Zeta Division 0 can catch up.
Well, already some good damage flying in.
Зета тащите, пожалуйста, молю.
Getting good dodges versus the curveballs. He needs to close in and get that super though, but he's outranged by every single one of these brawlers. Still good dodges, but eventually pinched out by Tufa.
Всё, Тинсай, пошел.
Now migrating around the left side, being careful about not giving Tufa the heal. Here it comes. A heal
Домой
on Tufa to keep
бота.
himself alive as well. Chazback Gaming VR have taken a hefty amount of damage on their save, and they get to return back to mid, but not without some deep battle scars.
Yeah, a 33% lead is very good.
Что происходит? Что происходит? Нет.
We saw earlier that Chazback have the capability to retake and turn things around.
Все очень плохо, все очень плохо.
Fire Crow is gonna be dropping, and a chance for a little bit of damage from Tufa on save. He is in a tough spot, forced to pop out a gadget. The heal does connect, so he should be able to reset quite nicely as the Chappie is pushing with a bear, and that bear is what really sells Nita in this sort of situations. Guru low HP as well. Fire Crow gonna whip a couple shots, does get a kill in the end. The Chappie is pushing forward with
Найс,
the bear.
давайте по ночи. Гасите, давай, урон, ну.
Unreal.
Nice.
Data division, that save is all the way down to 16%.
Неплохой урончик.
And Chazback are way too far behind right now.
Only 16% left on that save, and not a whole lot of time to work with 40 seconds, and the clock is quickly ticking down. Zeta 0 on the left side.
Давайте, гасите.
The amount of wall break is severely limiting what Pekka has to offer. Firecrow might be the next to get pinched out here. Little wall break, easy access for Tensai. Just needs to dodge at the last shots from 2.
Nice.
And Zeta 0 bring it back. It is going to go to a game number 3 in
Красавцы.
this set, and they interrupt the win streak of Chazback Gaming BR.
3 games in a row on the side of Chazback.
480, отлично, еще 20 штук, будет 500.
Getting there first now.
Давайте, камбэк.
Perhaps to take the set with it in this next one. Let's find out. Pekka on the right-hand side, trying to get that off angle onto a Chappie. It's getting some connections. A pinch with Fire Crow, but a lot of damage from Tensai. And that is going to be a clean kill from the Asian Max down in the mid. Let's see if that positioning can keep getting better and better for Zeta.
Pekka continues to win this right lane matchup as well. Definitely a prudent decision. A little damage from Firecrow as well. Choppy goes down. Pekka, now he has his sight set on that save, but so do Tensai and Kuru. Here comes the defense from Tufa, and he blocks off this entire lane with his super. Beautifully played and just very well timed. Pekka, meanwhile, has gotten a considerable advantage. He even has a super to work with. Choppy takes
Моему другу не дали
Tensai
скину уже 2 орудий.
also
Да, ничего себе.
different brawlers attacking at the same
Орудия
time.
не дают
There's a
нормально,
wall break
нифига
from
себе.
Kuru on the left side. We saw it much earlier in the game last time. It lent itself
Долго.
to a much faster and more convincing victory by Zeta 0. To see it earlier, rather later in the game like this with a minute 30 on the clock, it's not a great look for Zeta 0, but they're only trailing by a small margin.
Yeah, it's not a lot when it comes to save damage that makes the difference, but it could be enough. We've seen it happen so many times in the past. Kuru with some beautiful curveball dodges on the left-hand side, making sure he stays up, and eventually he does make a bit of a mistake, gets reset, and that could be the chance that Tufa needs to push up that lane. Fire Crow does connect the mute onto Tensai, is already quite low. I think he will survive it, but not with a whole lot of HP. Kuru does find Fire Crow, a Chappie gets a connection on Pekka.
Как Кур все-таки получается спайка?
But will even get there as he does eventually get shut down. Pekka a chance to get some more damage on save. Kuru
Блин, опять
in the
сдох.
middle of the shot, and that super melts
Что за
him
скилл?
down. Even more of a lead now for Chazback, but there is still plenty of opportunities in those final 30 seconds for Zeta to turn it around.
Not sure if that was a clean or an absolutely filthy play there by Pekka just moments ago. He still has yet another gadget ready for the remainder of the match. Only 15 seconds left. He's going to have to find some use out of it. Meanwhile, Tensai is going to fall. No, never mind. 51 health left. He could have a shot. No. From Tufa. A little bit more damage offer here at the end. A choppy Guru going for it, but their safe is melting as we speak. Just 3 seconds left, and it's a surefire victory for Chasmac. They take set number 2 off of Zeta Zero.
Он Зета говорил, что анскил где лодки. Он Зета, а ты говоришь, что он анскил где лодки. Ну, не знаю, логики нету, Байтор, логики нету. Ё-моё, 2-0, 2-0, Зета подводил. Игре надо чакмак. Рил так жестко не разносят. Он оценил команду, я чакмак разнес.
They did such a good job on Chasmac's side of things to shut it down. We barely saw any barriers. There were just so few.
Если сейчас вы не затащите, если сейчас вы не затащите, это будет капец это. Будет просто капец полнейший.
I think a lot of people would say these guys, they're the current reigning world champions as well. Do they really need to take risks in order to get a victory here? Well, we're moving into a very, very consistent mode for Zeta Division 77% win rate and only 50% win rate on the side of
20 года какой киндали. 20-го года, по-моему, не было. Бразильцы нагибают японцев. Да-да-да. Кремовый торт. Стоп, у меня же твинк, можно не париться. Ну да. Не, ну все равно, у меня вот основа. Если сейчас вы не камбэкнете, это был полнейший капец. На второй клэш. Да-да-да, клэш Милан. Давно вопросов не было. Согласен, да, первых тоже. Нейм, гол бы после стрима. Можете, да. Не камбэкнуться, не чакмак разнес. Ну ладно.
Certainly so. Gus is in a really good place at the moment as well. Does just really good against a lot of matchups. Doesn't really have any clear counters or brawlers he absolutely can't deal with. Similar to Janet to that extent, for different reasons though. It's an amazing support brawler, has amazing potential in straight up one-on-one duels. And it's just very, very good overall as an early pick to throw into the mix, as we have another pick pending here from Zeta Division Zero. It's going to be the Otis.
I definitely like Otis just as a pick in general, but Zeta Division Zero, they do have the last pick. They might also be looking forward to sort of prevent Chasmac from taking some brawlers that are simply good versus tanks or things that can get in close range that could upset things towards the end. Carl has been banned out by Chasmac Gaming BR. Fang still remains, Buzz still remains, just anything that can upset things a little bit, but Chasmac still, they have 2 picks in a row that they can go for that counter out tanks and make sure that that kind of situation does not happen.
Well, we get that bow in the mix, and I like it. I always like bow. I think especially, you know, if your opponents are maybe a little bit nervous because they are on the biggest stage that Brawl Stars has seen in a very, very long time. That can definitely be a challenge to deal with, you know, those bow arrows and get those dodges out. Keep track of the mines sometimes as well. And it's going to be paired with Gil as the final pick on the side of Chasmac Gaming BR.
Нормально, Добби. Нормально, Добби. Согласен.
With the Gil, maybe they are expecting some, you know, big aggression on the side of Zeta Division Zero. Probably not the most fond of that idea so far. Let's find out what Zeta Division Zero's answer is, and it's going to be a Sprout, and I think it has a lot of potential to dominate here.
I absolutely agree, and I think particularly versus Gale or Bo, but I think also it's kind of a big risk considering that Tufa is going to be breaking open walls pretty effectively. I mean, there's a little bit of debate as to which gadget is he actually running here as well. I mean, obviously, no Bo Totem Cheese strat coming along here, but still, some players have been running Tripwire now as a pretty viable strategy. It's also maybe going to be more effective to break open walls, which would be quite
490, еще 10 штук и будет 500. Я понял, Кирюх, понял. Ты что получил? Я даже так же делаю. 3 из 4 проголосовал, получил. Получил косарь.
Yeah, a lot of damage onto those Chasmac players, but no kills just yet. Blue start, giving the lead to Zeta Division 0. Chappie gets the kill, but gets taken out, and a follow-up from taking down Fire Crow, and Kuru locking out Pekka from accessing the rest of the map. Has to walk all the way around. A jump pad from Fire Crow, not quite gonna result in anything besides forcing him back.
Kuru also baiting out some of these mines. Pekka just looking for anything he possibly can at mid. Tensai is still staying alive.
Я просто стрим, все прогнозы гадал, но не отвечая на вопросы было 795. Нормально, будет тоже нормально. Уже 500? 540. Понял, Добби, понял.
Yeah, so far the Gale has been struggling. I already addressed my doubts regarding that brawler pick here.
Зета пока выигрывает, отлично.
First one diffused already by Kuru as he's still looking for different angles, and that is going to be a couple more walls out of the picture, meaning Kuru will struggle just a little bit more on the left-hand side, but so far he's really just been having a fantastic Sprout game as Tensai is rather low HP, but still Pekka gets reset on the
Что ты постоянно жрешь? Я байту семечки. Так, чуть-чуть.
Can he stay up? It's looking good for Zeta Division 0.
Хорош это, хорош, красавчики, победили. Будет видео про стендов. Кстати, да, Кирилл, про видео про стендов, думаю, будут. В скором времени, думаю, да. Но нам не предлагаешь. Ну, она мне пред... В смысле? Семечки? Конечно, можно были бы у меня здесь. Конечно, можно залетать. О, ребят, все, 500. Пятихатка, отлично. Конечно, можно, залетайте. Ты это не видел, чекмак кэмбэкнуть. Ты это не видел, чекмак кэмбэкнуть. Думаю, нет. Давайте защите.
Yeah, what's going on here, Teddy?
Yeah, I think you realize that was just a gadget that just, you know.
Кстати, ребят, в прошлом году Нави какое место заняла? О, хороший дом, давай. Кто, ребят, знает, в прошлом году Нави какое место заняла? Они место заняли. Второе место? Да, нормально. Нормально. Ну, нараз тащите Зета.
Not even half bad at all. Zeta Division 0 looking quite clean, and they have those supers on lock, ready to go at a moment's notice. A choppy, especially on the right side, as the silence. If Pekka even thinks about pushing in, there's the clean kill on the guy with the full clip to finish him off.
Когда он там на 4 были. Ну понял. Кто живет, чел из чмака. Понял, ну я понимаю. Читы софт. Ты просто софт.
Yeah, that is gonna need maybe a miracle or even more than that. I don't see it happening at this point. 5 seconds left. Micro pushing in a stun onto a Chappie, but
хорош, Зета, хорош. Красавчики. 2-1. Красавчики. Это хорош. Молодцы.
Some sighs, some smiles, some signs of relief, a little bit of crowd pleasing as well from the side of Zeta Zero as they get the cheers going as well. They are in for the revenge tour after those first couple of sets, and in a dominant way too.
Давайте тащим, ребят, тащим. Реплей, повтор.
Say that Chazmat Gaming BR offered a similarly dominant performance when it came to Brawl Ball, which was their more dominant mode as well. The stats, they don't often lie. This is one of those situations. We'll have to see if Zeta Division Zero or Chazmat Gaming BR is favored by the next set, but so far, Zeta Zero, they're looking clean on a track record to get back into their usual.
Потно, очень потно.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we'll see it on the stats in just a second, but I don't know if you guys at home.
Трансляция идет уже час 1 час 10 минут.
Look at him. There's one. I'm saying the kills. It's the kill singular.
Прикиньте камбэк. Я тоже очень хочу надеяться, чтобы был камбэк. Очень хочу надеяться.
I'm assuming they wanted to prevent, you know, maybe a Daryl or something over aggressive to show up on the final pick for Zeta Division Zero, but it didn't show up.
Прикинул было бы неплохо. Да. Ага, опасная территория. По-моему, так называется. Или опасная зона. Не будет камбэк. Еще шмаки 3-1 сделать. Нет, твой тур. Зета камбэк, давайте. Зета Инферно против печки. Когда я не играл на этой карте. Я тоже давненько не играл, тоже давненько.
Ring of Fire, it's one of those maps where I've said it once and I'll say it again. I feel like every team has a horror story on this map. It seems to always come down to this map towards the end, and it could be the end of Zeta Division Zero if they don't play their cards carefully. First pick coming in for Chazmat Gaming BR very, very soon here in a matter of seconds, and that means also that Zeta Division Zero can afford the last pick. Max, it wasn't banned out, and Chazmat Gaming BR are going for it right off the bat.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a ball that you want to leave open for Zeta Division Zero. First pick Max for Chazmat. He's reading out the bands quickly as well. It's going to be Penny as well as Meg and Crow on the side.
Тика. Можно взять Тика.
Be banning out Poco, Lola, and Lou. Good bands all around. I do feel like Max was one of those bigger openings. I think potentially his 2 could be a way to address it, or rather match that same sort of high mobility brawler.
Окей, так
an option as well, not one I particularly love, but one that has functioned quite all right in the past, and they'll match it with the Ruffs, which I do think is quite an easy pairing. Get them buffed up, and then suddenly that Pam is going nowhere, really, and trying to camp down in that zone. I don't mind the comp from Zeta so far. I'm really curious though to see what
Bruce хорош, прям норм. Брус хорош, прям норм. Ну да. Прям нормально. Тогда на им третий будет.
Also, having that healing station down, which everyone can crowd around and, you know, gather around the campfire and have some fun. Here comes Tufa, though, with the squeak pick, and that's going to be nice for locking down a lane or perhaps a...
Посмотрим, что я возьму. Давайте. Зета слетит. Зета слетит, я хочу увидеть Нави. Не надо, Добби, не надо. Зета... Надо, чтобы Добби надо, чтобы Зета выиграла обязательно. Иначе вряд ли мы получим сегодня. Я хочу, чтобы Зета все-таки победила. Маг. Очки нужны, очки очень нужны. Эдик, ты против своих слюней играешь?
One of the lanes, whether it's more defensive or offensive. There's a lot of different possibilities when it comes to Ring of Fire, and I'm curious to see how they will deal with that when it comes to the actual game. And we have the final pick coming in for Zeta Division Zero. It is
Zero. 2 zeros.
Oh,
Back.
oh, there's
2 segs.
two. There's
Well, I mean, Zeta Division 0, right? They love their zeros, I suppose. Okay, there.
Грифа взял. Ух, нормально.
We were talking about this one earlier.
Грифа нормально.
He's pretty good at mid. He's great at denying some aggressive charges in, just keeping you completely.
О, монетка, ребят.
Because he has a lot of health to offer, and he has a lot of damage to offer too. I like this strategy from Zeta 0. They just got to.
Я взял 2-0, я понял.
Yeah, a bit more snowball
510.
side of Zeta Division 0, but a longer setup time. Because, you know, getting that healing station or dishing out those streaks to buff up your teammates is going to take a little bit of time. And as you can see already in the early game, that means Chasmak have the advantage. They have a lot of supers, though. A Chappie has one of his own. Let's see how he decides to utilize that. I think you're already.
Чакмак тащит, ё-моё.
That was probably the grip, actually. Pekka getting out of the zone at last, but not before.
Вообще не подпускаю.
37 early lead.
Tufa on the right side, also trying to block things out versus Kuru. He does get a couple of taps.
Как все плохо, согласен. Подлагнуло.
A choppy falls. Chasmak Gaming BR, they refuse to leave this point. Tensai is trying to do whatever he can, but with the walls broken open on the left side, sure, it meant that Squeak had a lot less value, but Squeak has just adapted. Moved over to the right side, but now Kuru pushes in tremendous value. He's gonna be just a few coins.
Все, не давайте. Тащите Z.
There's no doubt in my mind. One health on what? The survival.
1 хп, неплохо. 1 хп, давайте, хорош.
Try to retaliate, but Zeta Division 0 wipe him out, and they got that mid control back.
1 хп у челика.
We're getting away with this one. That match point was imminent, but Zeta Division 0 are catching up a couple percent behind now, about to overtake them. Tufa going for a super. He does get the connection up to Tensai. That should be some free damage, but good teamwork from Zeta Division 0 to distract that from happening, as Chasmak are trying their best to really get that foothold in the mid. It's a couple percent.
В прошлом году же Z заняли топ-1. Что стало с ними?
Goes down, Kuru in a 1v1 now as he gets a kill. He's low HP and the connection from Tufa and the super. It is still the lead for Zeta Division 0, but it's so incredibly close. It's a war of attrition. Whoever dies first is dead forever, and you just gotta keep on slugging away at those enemies because they're charging in with health all the time.
Тащим, ребят, тащим.
Quick takedown of that super and a silence on Kuru, but it doesn't stop the guy. Tensai refuses to leave this point. He's gonna have to be removed with force. But Tufa, Pekka, Fire Crow, they don't want to take the risk here. Tensai, a choppy Kuru, they just keep on popping in and out of that. Here comes the supply drop as well for Tensai. A kill on the Fire Crow. It's not looking good for Chasmak Gaming.
Красавчики, выиграли.
Victory for Zeta Division 0. No match point.
Что же зрет? Я пошел пока. Хорошо, Кирюха, давай. Фух, красавы. Давай, удачи, Кирюха, удачи.
To the 5th and final set for the first time in these World Finals 22. Let's find out if Zeta Division 0 can do it, or if Chasmak Gaming get to match point. Mid area blocked off. Attempt from a choppy to clear things out, but it's not going to be super successful. This is the early game victory for Chasmak Gaming BR as they have things cleared out by, wow, never mind. Here comes Kuru changing things out. A little wall break as well. Tensai and quickly flipped the script and now are quickly approaching that percentage and now eclipsing what's been captured so far by Chasmak Gaming BR. Back up, has speed, gonna pump it solo. A Chappie getting that buff out, gets picked up, but eventually, I mean, yeah, that is gonna be a nice skill for Tufa to pick up, make sure that buff is out of the picture as well. Tensai taking a decent bit of damage and has to reposition after that gadget from Tufa is gonna be slowing down that left-hand side of the zone. A little bit of a lead still for Zeta, but not a massive one, and good mid presence from Chasmak now as well as Tufa goes first.
Очень вовремя. Не, ну очень вовремя. Зато выиграют, красавчики. Не, ну очень вовремя. Хорош, Зета! Хорош! Говорят, очень вовремя мне позвонили, очень вовремя. 2-2 счет. 2-2. Красавцы. Ой. Твою налево, я тупой. Угу. Байтур, да, в шоке, согласен. Да, вы матчпоинт, пацаны, грил. Рил. А, ребят, пока я отключался, монетки не было никакой? Монетки никакой не было, либо вопроса?
They desperately wanted on the side of Chasmac. And look at that DPS they had to offer as well. Zeta Division 0, they were taking a beating.
Все, ласт.
However,
Смотрим, кто выиграет. Смотрим, кто выиграет.
They had Griff just passively healing up. They had Pam as well. Always very high health. They're going to be throwing down that turret repeatedly and staying in the mix.
После... О, нокаут. Нормас.
Headed into the final set. Set number 5. This one set determines who heads on to the quarterfinals and whose year of effort gets left dust in the round of 16.
Мы, ребят, уже стримим 1:21 минуту. Нокаут, давайте за это, Рил. Тащите, пацаны, тащите. Ух, очень потно. Либо они, либо они. Да-да-да, Наим, да-да-да. Бро.
I definitely like this pick because the intention is very clear. Break open the walls because I see a thrower that is not banned here that could be pretty good as a last pick, and that's got to be Grom. And they're not willing to take the risk of picking a thrower that early. It's why you pick it as a last pick because they're so straightforward to counter with things such as this. Brock, he's also fantastic now with the reload gear, and he also has
Это лучше клеща. 100%. Флэш Милан за руина.
We've seen that happen in the past. I mean, massive damage output. Gene is a very
Клэш Милан руина. Милан Клэш руина.
Which usually you want to do when you have a Brock on your team, but also just incredible. Whether it's the magic puffs, whether it's the pull, it's just so incredibly versatile. And even the vengeful spirits nowadays are considered as a very strong gadget in most.
Опа, Брус, ты Джин. Да-да-да.
You know, go for the knockback.
Кто бель?
So many different possibilities with that brawler. He's very versatile. Another incredibly versatile brawler is gonna be Belle. I mean, it's her home, right? We are gonna be watching Belle's run, so might as well bring her on the table. And I appreciate what both teams are doing, at least so far, not taking any wild risks because they know so much depends on this.
Окей, давайте, бей так бей.
Personally more of a wild risk guy myself. I mean, I do like to see some risky stuff here every now and then. 5 seconds left for Chasmac Gaming VR to choose their next brawler too. It's going to be Piper, actually. Combine that with the wall break that Brock has to offer. You have something quite dangerous, but they have to make sure that they don't get themselves into a hole here where they could be vulnerable to something like Fang, which is looking like more and more of a possibility.
Да, блин, что-то ерунда. Исполнил 3 моих желания. Пон. Так, все, let's go.
Or will they go for, well, it is quite long range, quite high damage, but very different, a lot of utility as well with the mute, a lot of possibilities to close out those games as well. Once those rounds
Помню, в 2021 году вообще жестко было. Там, честно, я не смотрел там, но там, по-моему, под был.
Otis is perfect for that. Let's find out though what the reaction and final pick of this match is gonna be. As Zeta Zero make their decision. It's gonna be Janet.
Janet.
It's a safe pick, pretty much. And
Janet.
you can throw down that turret, it gets some good control for you. It's probably gonna fall.
Ну все, ребят, матчпоинт. Давайте Зета. Зета тащите, Зета тащите.
In terms of where they have those lane matchups off the beginning of the game, because Bell's Rock, it's not the worst to lane swap, but when you do lane swap, you can forfeit a lot of area control, and that's the last thing that you want to do when the mid is where the game
Кнопка, ребят, кнопка.
when the poison closes you all
120.
Here come the lane matchups, and Tensai, he's going to be at mid, and so is Firecrow. No gadget yet from Tensai. Here comes the first one from Firecrow. He's actually forcing Tensai into those bushes. Not an area that you want to find yourself in the early game, but thankfully there's no one. What was that from
Блин, что-то разлетел. Я просто матчпоинт. Да, был матчевый, да. Что творите,
In a 1v3, a homemade recipe, I believe, that connects from Pekka. Not sure if that was useful, but they want to make sure that Kuru doesn't get away with a free mark for the next round. And yeah, good jukes from Kuru.
Блин, Фил, капец, что вы творите, челики?
They are still in this game. They are still in this match, and they are a round away from a match point.
Here comes the lane swap. Kuru posts a slight range advantage versus Tufa, but Tufa's going to be trying to lay down the law with Incendiary too. Tensai still at mid, also continues things back. It's pretty much an even fight here. Achapi is also going to be helping out Tensai, even if he concedes a little bit of damage to Firecrow with those magic claps. But Achapi also has a range advantage over Piper. Going to be continuously pushing her back. Only 1,000 health left on Pekka. Oh, Recipe not going to get the kill on Achapi though. Kuru still forced back. Firecrow looks for something. He has a super at the ready. No contact there with the reflected shot from Bell.
живем.
But Tufa has to be extremely cautious about this right side. So he does have a super at the ready. In fact, all of Chazmet Gaming VR do. And Achapi is ready to punish them for any aggression with his magic hand.
A lot of close goals, especially on the side of Zeta Division 0. That Jinpo is still an absolute threat, especially as we get towards the end game. For this round, a gadget from Tensai, the pull to fire.
Хорош.
It's gonna be a kill, a 2v2, low HP across the board. Tensai going for the pinch onto Pekka, good connection.
Хорош.
1v1, no, but Pekka jumps into
Красавчики.
He's gonna fall, and this game goes to round 3 as well.
A super close game, and it's all coming down to the very last round here to determine who is the first wielder of that match point. Chazmat Gaming BR need to bring this one back, but they have to do it very, very carefully because they are in a few regards here. Pekka, though, on the left lane, he has saved a homemade recipe for the very end.
Хорош.
She was just in range, and Chazmat Gaming BR are in a 2v3.
Wow!
Хорош.
As well, a choppy. Deletes Firecrow and Tufa.
Хорош.
Over here as it's gonna be match point.
Красавы.
Division 0. Ice cold.
Что творят?
Now, it's a single game separating Zeta Division 0 from the quarterfinals, and here as well from
Вторая катка.
on reverse sweep. Unbelievable stuff.
Камбэк.
Definition of a reverse sweep right here.
Ребят, монета.
Division 0, they
530.
Chazmat Gaming VR stands firmly in their path, and they will not relent for even a second. Lane matchups here too, looking quite good for Chazmat Gaming VR. Kill by Pekka on the right side.
Чел аккуратный.
3v2 now. Tensai continues to push Brock back, and these matchups start to shift just a little bit. Achapi, he's playing extremely cautiously. Tensai, he's dodging out these shots like
Он не мог же вниз просто уйти и все. Это бы его Пайпер забрала.
Achapi goes down to Pekka. Pekka was just an absolute flawless opening round. As they are facing that match point from Zeta Division 0, Chazmak, they have not given up just yet. They'll fight all the way until the end, and they want that double match point. Can they reach it? A couple whiff shots from Pekka on the right-hand side.
Давайте Зету тащите.
He does connect the follow-up onto Tensai, keeping him low and making sure he doesn't overcommit too far. Not in the best position HP-wise. Achapi gets to reset his heals as well. There's a pull available for
Накаркал
you
их.
know how strong he is with those.
Чел, хорош.
Going down and man advantage for Zeta.
Хорош.
Oh my gosh, and Kuru
Хорош.
leads the left side. Tensai
Ласт
takes the
катка, ласт
right,
катка.
and we are at the ultimate match point. one round remains for Zeta Division 0 to claim their victory here and now for Chazmac Gaming BR to flip this one in the complete opposite direction.
Не всегда попадает. Попадает всегда человек.
Continuously outranging him. Has a super at the ready. Dodge super there. A little pass damage around to Pekka. Good stuff.
Действительно руина.
Wow! Beautiful stuff.
Ну ё-моё!
Tensai falls and it's only a champion, a 1v3, a desperate attempt that he
Ой,
could
налево.
try with that pull, but he needs to find a target, and CMG are not willing to get anyone in range. That should be double match stone point coming up.
Рио бей руины. Вот сейчас, ребят, что творят, что творят?
85% voting in favor of Zeta Division 0, and now it comes
Еще
down to a
катка.
double match point to decide whether 85% go home right or 15% of the believers remain victorious.
I think there might be a little bit of a problem. The player
Давайте,
captured as
челики.
well, that the
Хорош!
players were, you
О,
know,
540,
going for
nice.
admins and not moving
Nice!
on the spawn. I'm assuming this will be replayed as I'm assuming a game crashed or something along those lines. It happens. It happens.
Лаг
Always
залагали,
have to
походу.
get every single device running properly, and at times we'll have to do some of those rematches. Don't have a confirmation just yet from production.
А не надо радоваться, это не считается. Не считалось. Залагало у тебя. У чела, по-моему, залагало.
Who is getting sort of their nerves drawn out the most possible? Who's the most confident going into this match? All questions
Лаги у
we
них,
don't have the
да.
answer to, and also we're still trying to figure out what exactly is going on. However, rest assured, we're going to be heading back into that match very, very soon here. I have a lot of expectations, though we saw consistent good gameplay, I think, from both teams there. I think a lot of it also came down to specific lane matchups and when the walls were broken open to give a particular team the advantage.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming one
Что
of
за
the
лютый
players,
пот?
device just crashed or stopped working. It happened to me when we were rehearsing and trying out the devices, so I can relate it. It felt bad, you know, it felt bad, but I can't imagine how it feels for them now, as that was some good momentum for Chazmac, bringing it back to all the way to double match point. The crowd has been going nuts, supporting both teams a fair amount, impressed by Chazmac's performance, honestly, and also a lot of Zeta fans all around. I mean, it's East Asia has been the region that everyone has had their eyes on this year, and obviously the reason is both Zeta teams.
Они, походу, специально тянут резервы, чтобы на им подольше посидели. Походу, да, на им, походу, да.
Are residing on this roster. They are immortalized in Brawl Stars history in the rise up to the top song. We hear Choppy on the roughs as well, Tensai on the max, let's go, and all of that fun stuff. But I mean, we haven't gotten to see too much of the max from the guys. I think it's just a little bit too intimidating. Everyone knows that you gotta ban max, or you gotta pick max versus these dudes, and I think that also speaks volumes about just how much respect they command when they load into a game. You don't let them get particular brawlers. They have a reputation that precedes them, and it's absolutely deserved. They are going to double match point. Either team is one game away from taking the victory and heading on to the quarterfinals.
Yeah, we are watching some replays right now, guys. Don't get overexcited just yet.
Давайте быстрее, Рио.
Everything that's happening, but I mean, for obvious reasons, everyone behind the scenes is making sure that everyone can compete on a
На последней игре именно на последней 100% постанова. Может быть.
Game we deserve and determine who between Zeta Division 0 and Chazmac Gaming BR will be making it to the quarterfinals, and who goes home. Again, both teams have had incredible results in the past. Zeta Division 0, no need to even mention their achievements. I'll still do it. World champions of 2021. So yeah, the expectations are there. Two of their players, as you mentioned, it's Tensai and Choppy that were world champions just last year. But on the side of CMG, they also have two players that made it to top 4 last year. I think they even made it to top 4 in 2020 as well, but that goes way back. Still, incredibly experienced teams, teams that have achieved a lot as well, and yet one of them is going home top 16 today. One of them is moving on to the quarters. Wow, the pressure is up.
The pressure is on, and there's a whole lot at stake as well, simply because an entire year
там уже будут так долго.
right here and now, after all of these games, it's come down to a single game. And in knockout, it's going to come down to a single round. Your death is going to be permanent.
I heard some information from production. Don't want to cut you down, but you'll want to hear this. We are going back into the final game, double match point. It's going to be same everything, right? Same brawler, same draft. Just that final game is going to be replayed as they were not able to play.
Так долго.
Wow. I mean, again, just want to say it one more time.
Мне кажется, все пахнет. В прошлом году все немного жестко было. Даже да, им согласен. О, Нави. Это, по-моему, Ангел Бой. О, Фрэнки Паул. Это, по-моему, Ангел Бой, если не ошибаюсь. Рил.
But can they actually make it happen? Can they take down Zeta Division 0? Or is Zeta gonna full on reverse sweep them? Wow, what a storyline, Ready.
Dude, at this point, the nerves are getting me too. Like, I'm feeling the second-hand nerves as well, because it has been going on. How long has it been since we have had a double match point that is extended over probably like 10 minutes now? The pressure
Сколько там? 10 minutes? Фрэнки Паула.
It's no longer a game of adaptation. It is a game of focus in being able, in zen, and being able to calm yourself down, not let the pressure get to you, not let the nerves, the huge crowd that we have at this venue get to you either. It's gonna be a tough one.
Ну, Дина, куда уже? Чё так долго?
Absolutely. So this entire match has been a tough one for both sides. We've had some really one-sided games, some more one-sided sets too, but then some incredible brawl and close games. And so far, this final set seems to be the closest one as well. I think one of the big challenges when you have such a sort of technical issue in the final set as well at double match point is who has enough ice in their veins, who can keep their calm and get back in that situation with the momentum they had earlier, with the mood, with the concentration that they had, because now it's been a couple of minutes and both teams are, you know, the temps are gonna be getting a little bit colder and
Это пацанова 100%.
quite as fresh, but they only got one
О!
shot, they only got one game.
Неужели, наконец-то.
Zeta Division 0 versus Chasmac Gaming BR, the final game.
It's all come to a head here. Deaths could be permanent. And Fire Crow is already setting his sights on one target in particular.
Что творите? Хорош.
Really hard. No, never mind. Down goes Pekka. Fire Crow's going for it. Unfortunately,
Чел, живи. Хорош!
Down goes Fire Crow too. Kuro goes for it.
Хорош!
Bounce play, and Tufa falls. Round 1 goes to Zeta 0.
Ласкатка.
Trick shot from Kuro connects, and now we have Zeta Division 0 again on the verge of taking this match. Chasmac, they fought valiantly in the previous game to take it back and bring it to double match point. A homemade recipe connects onto a Chappie. Quite low HP, but able to reset and heal back up. Then side, a bit lonely in the mid, but does always have that super to get straight into the air and back to safety if need be. This is intense because Chasmac have no map control whatsoever. Can they find some sort of a pin, some sort of relief here? As right now, Zeta are looking devastating.
Achapi has a super as well that he can use. Pekka and Firecrow are both on low.
No.
Not really anywhere to go.
Домой!
Pekka is taking so much damage. A kill and a two-fight Pekka.
Всё, найс! Камбэк! Камбэк на что? Где ты там, Байтур, что Лоранки плакал? Yes, красавы!
For Latin South to redeem themselves. Got it. You can see it from their faces, how much passion.
Красавы! Да ладно, камбэк.
You gotta feel for them. You gotta feel for them because that was an incredible performance from Chasmac.
Хорош, Зета!
Lots of words, honestly, because that's one of the best performances we have seen from them ever, and it's in a round of 16.
Тебя в мире где-то плачет один Байтур. Да. Я же говорил. Зета лучше.
all the way until the
Так,
end.
давайте
You
зачисли
can
эпичные
never
наши очки.
count them out, and that is not only the first match that goes all the way to set 5, not only the first match that goes all the way to double match point, it's the full first reverse sweep of the World Finals 22.
Красавчики.
What other team to do it than Zeta Division Zero?
Zeta Division Zero and their sister team, they're now
Давай
locked in
зачисляйте
those
мне уже.
quarterfinals facing versus both of the
133.
Jasmine sister teams too. A valiant effort that was posed yesterday, but a
133.
seriously impressive one that completely blew us away from Jasmine Gaming BR here. Just amazing
сейчас.
stuff from this team. In fact, both of them as well. But only one
Tribe
victor
Game
can head
против
on into
Nami.
the next
Нави,
round,
Nami.
unfortunately. And it means that
Ух, Нави.
for now are laid to rest.
Yeah, it's gonna have to wait for you know, the World Finals 2023. Unfortunately for Latin and South, as all of their representatives have been sent home. Don't worry, they're still in Paris, having fun, enjoying Disneyland, hanging out with
Наконец-то
all the homies from the other teams,
это
but they're
хорош.
not gonna be competing
Красавчики.
anymore. It's sad, we've pretty much always had a Latin South team make it quite far into our World Finals bracket, but this year it's not quite gonna be the case. Wow, what a start of the day already. Just in case you guys missed it,
Тамина против Team КСО, Try Gaming против Z Division.
Fantastic. That was the performance of the year.
Ага.
But yet, Tribe Gaming EU, they managed to reverse sweep 2 sets in a row, and in the end, they
Понял,
took that
понял,
match
понял.
quite nicely. For Zeta Division 0 versus Jasmine Gaming Brazil, that was the closest match.
Ребята,
at the World
вам уже
Finals.
зачислили очки или нет?
Mostly
Еще не
trios,
зачисляют.
3-1 and 1-3-1. That 3-2 there, that was one stacked match and one we didn't really see coming. Most people, I mean, you guys at home said 85% said Zeta Division 0 will take it. Well,
Что на очки не зачисляют?
I'm sad for the 15% of you that saw the potential of Chasmac.
Где мои честно заработанные очки? Согласен, Нэйм, где они?
Pretty much got it right. They were so close to make it happen.
2 matches done already, 2 to come very, very soon.
Soggle,
It has been
soggle.
an exhilarating day through and through, but we're only halfway through. We're going to be going to a quick break, and we'll come back with the next 2 matches in day 2 of the Brawl Stars World Finals.
Ладно, 5 минут еще ждать, да? Перерывчик. А где очки мои? Ладно, ребят, я сейчас скоро. О, ребят, найс. Другое дело. Зачислили. ММА. Давайте я тогда буду куб. Я буду кубом. Я буду кубом. Найс, зачислили. Все. 665. Можно забрать бы сегодня, постараться скин. А кто третий? Третий будет первый Нэйм Петр Олегович, потом я куб, потом Доби. Давай. Вот эта песня лютая. Тут и песня лютая. Ты либо Ангелбой или Алекс. Я буду кубом. Вот это, да, вот эта музыка. Подскажите, пацаны, скажите, что музыка вообще топ. Найс. Через 2 минуты начинается, если что, ребят. О, Нави 74%, да ну. Песня зачет. Ой, зачет. Бравл, ты же как хотел сыграть? 74% Нави. Найс. Ну, песня... Ну, песня-то какая топовая. Ой, не могу. Сейчас, ребят, 1 секунду. Все. Ну, я прям не могу. Тут качает. Окей, заберу. Сейчас. Найс, песенка. 30 секунд. Ой, готовимся. Че, опять черный экран? Что она опять встала? Где она? Че встала?
Gaming NA have a bit of an edge. Now, for Tribe Gaming NA, you know, it was a really fantastic flying start to the year.
Блин, я, ребят, так тупо, ну. Написал 1500, что становится мифическая. На 2К мог на халяву 40 очков получить. Мог 700 очков у меня уже мог быть. Я понял, на им сейчас исправлю. Я так лоханулся, ё-моё. Я понял, на он понял, сейчас я исправлю. Мог... Тупое.
The field here is looking really competitive in North America. We spent much of yesterday talking up Vatra Gaming because of how insane they've been over the second part of the season. NA is getting stronger and stronger. Tribe have to stay afloat.
Yeah, you know, they are a team with so much experience behind them, and that counts for a great deal. You know, the last couple of results weren't the best, let's be honest, but nonetheless, it's being able to pick yourselves up.
Я понял, что написал. Понял, молодец, Нейм.
Au milieu de la scène, il y a une très bonne ambiance. Je suis au milieu de supporters de Tribe, donc on va devoir la faire en anglais. C'est un petit peu obligé. For all of you guys, this is good vibes right here. The Tribe gaming crowd is absolutely insane. I have no idea if you guys can hear me.
Да блин.
I think it's time to say welcome. Their colleagues from...
Вот так я фиксил это. По-моему. Да. Всё, ребят. Норм. Погнали. Вил. Похоже. Все, ребят, ну как меня слышно? Похоже.
Has started to realize that in order to stay afloat, in order to stay ahead of the pack, they had to come up with something different. ЕСЛИ really using this team with some youth and more vivacity.
Норм. Ну так тупануть 1500 нажать, а не 2000. Это можно... Я мог спокойно... У меня спокойно могло быть уже 700 очков. Не хватало было только 300. О! Я знаю это. О, куб. Нави, пошли. ММА. ММА, кубу. О, найс. Как же это круто. Петя, мама. Ангел бой куб. Капец. Я кубик тогда. Прикольно, добрый ангел бой. Воу. Нави. Вау. Топ. Красавчики. О, легенды Рио. Петя, мама. Давайте, пацаны, нажимайте их за дизлайк. Накажем их на дизлайк. Хорош, давайте. Трайб Гейминг сейчас накажет их за дизлайк. Точно.
what happens when we plonk you in the middle of the maelstrom that is our Disneyland
Вот это
Paris World
люто.
Finals. That's the question. A lot of fans behind this Na'Vi team, and they're really hard.
Моя сестра мама сказала краш. Люто. Удачи, пацаны. Удачи, Нави. Нави, Петя, кубик, ангел, бой, удачи.
But more about the rest of the region, you know, moving up. And that's what they say, a rising tide lifts all ships. And you better hope that Tribe Gaming have got their floaties on.
Yeah, it was, you know, at some September.
О, карта взятия мостов.
To Vatra on that 2-3, and again in October, losing the quarterfinals.
74-26.
But then again, they had been the first team in the region to qualify for the World Finals. They can afford to take things a little bit easier. But for Navi, it was a constant battle.
Давайте, пацаны, давайте.
And the draft now coming in. Let's see, Piper Band, Bonnie Band, and Colette on the side of Tribe Gaming in.
Нави, то все, let's go.
The map bridge too far. Ice coming in. Carl, Max.
Буду как меньше, буду меньше молчать, буду меньше получать. Биков, да-да-да, нейм, ой, Добби. Почти стрим идет 2 часа уже, почти 2 часа, нормально. Красава. Ну, монстр, привет, дружище, привет, дружище. Если ты новенький на канале, то можешь, пожалуйста, поставить лайк и подписаться на этот канал. Буду тебе очень благодарен. Что ты опять стал? О, Брока. Привет, монстр, привет. Можешь, пожалуйста, поставить лайк и подписаться на этот канал. Буду тебе очень благодарен. Ангел Бой взял Брока. И поставить лайк еще, если что, на стрим. Подписался, лайк поставил. Спасибо, монстр, спасибо. На стриме Бравл Старс все пишут Нави. На стриме Бравл Старс. О, нифига себе. Нормально. Сохранить. Лола, окей. Лола так Лола. Кубик взял Лола, окей. On the left or right hand side lane, they can really scout those bushes for you and seek out and destroy. Third and final pick. Я тоже монстр знаю, тоже за Нави.
It's going to be a riskier time for them. They haven't really got much choice of a tank, and they're going to play a huge risk. Colt.
ММА кольта взял, я испугался. Я бы кольта взял бы. Я уже получил комментарий. Я монстр тоже получил. Да, Брока, Брока.
And that is where Tribe Gaming NA can, you know, make it very, very difficult in that respect and make sure those chukes are really on point.
Я уже тоже скин получил, но у меня это уже на другом аккаунте сейчас это. На другом аккаунте мы сейчас играем. Точнее, получаем очки. Нейм, ты там ММА. Так, получается, я Кубик, я Лола. Ты Добби. Ангел Бой. Бро. Я написал про кольта, и он за кольта взял. Да, да, я вижу. Мать, я услышал. Монетка рилер. Ну все, парни, удачи. Что-то как-то очень странно. Не кажется ли вам? Нет, нет. Что за? What the fuck is doing? Что вы творите? Что вы творите? Пацаны, что за дичь? What the fuck?
Yeah, good pressure from that left-hand side lane at the start of the round now. Tyrant's hatching something. Let's see if it's a nasty plot or a goose egg. Shot down the middle.
Ангелбой, руина. Вы что творите?
And Zulan doesn't care about giving up his life. That's tons of damage. 14% on the safe.
Вы что творите, парни? Петя! Вы что творите?
We foreshadowed this a little bit about Na'Vi, right? Some of their drafts and some of their executions are kind of wild. And we just don't see much of MMA. Very much a spiritual.
Какой-то, блядь, один на один фланг вдвоем. Они поменялись. Очень странно, зачем надо было... Хорош. Петя, что творишь? Ангелбой, руина!
My word, Tyrant, that was lovely.
Again, if you can juke those cold shots, he starts to become pretty vulnerable. Tyrant really laying claim towards the middle part of the map there. Love that little jump from him. Eventually will fall down to the incendiary field. MMA has these places to get away, but ЕСЛИ is pressuring this right-hand side. Cubic tries to stand up to Zulan, and the pressure is decent, but reinforcements are on the way.
Ребят, что вы творите? Какую дичь?
Yeah, continuing to do just that. The spray down from Cubic is connecting onto Zulan, and Zulan is streaking for his life. He does go down. Now can Navi get out of this?
Парни, аккуратно.
A lot of pressure now being applied to Tyrant as Angel Boy has knocked down some of those barriers in the middle part of the map. Navi begin to smell that blood in the water. They're like a staying power to keep pressuring down. MMA takes a salvo. He's so low, and now Tyrant's just trying to guess where he is. He guesses right.
Honestly, Tribe are looking like they just have so much synergy right now. They're picking up the pieces every now and again, struggling to find Navi within the
Ангелбой, руина, попасть. Ума нету стула, его плохо и неудобно. Серьезно?
Tyrant is getting everything he wants in this middle part of the map right now.
Ангелбой что творит? Попасть не может.
Another damage amplifier from Zulan here. But really just to try and block some of these shots as Cubic lays it on thick. It's not enough though. Here comes Zulan posturing aggressively. It's 27 and counting on the safe. The Tyrant will stand once the smoke clears.
Yeah, it's kind of didn't quite position himself there with the incendiary, but he had a great advantage to be able to get those shots.
Нет,
I think the Tribe have done enough for now, and Navi with no time really, except for Angel Boy all on his own. This one's done. Tribe Gaming NA are going to take this first set, and they looked very comfortable in doing it.
Что за бред?
Something unexpected there from Navi out of the draft. Cool, calm, and collected with Tribe though.
Что за бред?
The Eve through mid from Tyrant as well, not something we see all the time, but anytime you can get value in him being able to cross lanes, collapse as well on them if he has to. Really love those looks here. Zulan on the 8-bit, again, putting himself up front and center in many of those fights and just saying, hey, I've got a large health pool, come at me. I'm going to try and get pressure down on your safe.
Что за бред? Им хоть заплатили. Походу, да. Что они как-то не манчат вообще. Ангелбой вообще руина, попасть не может ни по кому.
He's a guy that really starts to play to the crowd, really starts to feel the energy. This Tribe team is a pretty disappointing exercise for them. They definitely expected more.
Нетушки, я в тильте, я тоже в тильте.
They are still very, very hungry, and I think this really tells much of the story here. ЕСЛИ having a fantastic go of it on Bell.
Yeah, Tribe have been known in the past to, gain a little bit too much confidence too soon.
Sure.
I'm not going to necessarily bring up last year too much because, I'm sure when they watch back the VOD, it might be that switch.
You'll hear about it, yeah.
No thumbs down here today. But nonetheless,
Вторая карта, какая сейчас будет?
You really want to come in and make your mark. It gives you that confidence going into the second. It's a tough spot for Navi. This is a LAN experience which they're not used to having. So being behind now is going to mean they're going to have that little bit of time to have those team talks to discuss what they need to change going in to dueling.
Горячая зона.
Yeah, really curious.
Твои.
MMA still there. Navi have surplus players, of course. It's 4-player roster for this team. On side Tribe, obviously Corey definitely stepping more into that.
Они хуже, чем Clash отыграли. Согласен, Нейм, согласен. Они что-то вообще не попадали ни по кому.
Navi really love to run Penny. I remember my first conversation with them regarding draft, and they took it a little bit personal. But Penny here can do some great and wondrous things. The bans on the side of Tribe being Poco, I think, are smart. Banning Poco against Tribe, against Navi, you have to do that. You really do. The Stu as well, getting rid of some aggression. Of course, Buster, we know full well what that can achieve. Janet going to come in for Tribe Gaming NA. Some great value for it, and B as well to back it up, just in the eventuality that Navi bring in some tanks, which they are known to do.
Yeah, take a great all-rounder first here with Janet. Start to stop your draft a little bit with something a little bit longer range. The B, obviously, great hunting molasses can be such a problem, especially if you're able to push up and you have the advantage. And then you can round it out. You can kind of see what Navi go for. Now, at least you have the chance to sort of preempt that last pick, the wacky one, right? As a Colt was locked in earlier on by Navi. Tribe maybe prefer to be in this position now. Obviously, we sort of mentioned a couple times, we've seen a little bit of Buster here, but he's just not something that Tribe want to deal with. Bell, though, is on the table and snapped up.
And I really do like that pick. Bell now with the reload gear coming into play is just a real force to be reckoned with. The nest eggs as well onto the zone can deter you.
Ангеловая руина, лучше бы Алекса взяли бы. Согласен, Нейм, согласен. Что он вообще ни по кому не попадал. Если Нави салют, и я буду апать четко на его.
Away from the meta, but obviously with the slowing toxin, it is going to allow for those Bell and Penny shots to land the mark and just get that all-important value in.
Especially if you're in a scenario where you have to retake, right, and the defending team has to expose themselves to your Crow to some degree. The slowing toxins can be pretty straightforward to hit. Now, it's not an all-in, composition after the fact, but like you mentioned, slow targets are easy meat for Cubic and MMA on those picks. Sprout gotta be knocked in here. Corey sat on the bench like, that could be me, bro.
Also with the slowing toxin, that Penny turret is going to land more shots during that time as well. So I hope that whoever's playing this on the side of Navi is timed that perfectly, but Sprout can really just
Скорее всего, сольем, чем 50 капнем. Тоже неправильно тоже.
I think that this Levy, if he's on that Sprout, or whoever it is going to get a ton of value and do get to really just shut off most of the map here. But you've got to earn it and just keep it cycling in, and that can sometimes be challenging.
So the right first steps have been taken by Tribe NA, but there still needs to be a conversion on the series. MMA will be trying to man the middle part of the map here as Tyrant, as we expected, attends. Is Livy, of course, as well. No, you notice here that Tribe are really
Я молчу, ребят, просто молчу.
to have to deal with Cubic. They're really trying to opt out of going one-to-one with him for the time being. MMA is starting to get aggressive, posturing forward, but he's punished instantly by a hedge behind, and Zulan chimes in from the right.
Amplified shot for Zulan. Oh, what a connection. Angel Boy now has damaged gear, but no HP to really contest the situation. Tyrant, and there's Livy coming through and just positioning himself forward, and Cubic now have to be very, very cautious. That's the cycle you want, looking at MMA, but actually, it does mean that it doesn't quite get the total coverage that they need.
Drop the base. So frustrated to deal with when you've got no choice but to stand in it and not be able to get healed up.
Ангел-бой руина.
To get a bit comfortable here, MMA slowed up. The Iron Hive and the shot to follow is good. Cubic has to sheepishly back up as Tribe start to lay it on even thicker. Angel Boy and MMA return. We definitely need to see some value from this Crow.
Yeah, it's really a bit of a struggle so far. Tyrant, though,
У них контроля этого больше с помощью этого спраута.
Tyrant behind the situation as well is going to keep some pressure on here. The comeback potential here, spot on. What a retake from Tribe.
Love that. Tyrant being absolutely obnoxious in the backline. He requiring Na'Vi to commit 2 players in order to remove him. That opens the way for Tribe to move up onto the hot zone and start ticking up once more. Ironhide doesn't connect, but the empowered shot does. Zulan in a very comfortable spot now. Hence is going to force Na'Vi back, and it's 86 and counting for the time being.
Ну добей ты, добей ее!
Looking for a flank, but as Livy is keeping him under the thumb for the entire round. Tyrant shots are coming in, and it's a trade at best for MMA. Not what he's looking for. Tyrant now wants to try and extricate himself from the situation as Cubic and Angel Boy are looking imperious on the point.
Well, I think the Tribe, they can just get a little bit here and there.
Yes, New York Mobile.
Needed one to take down there from Zulan just to relieve a little bit of pressure. But Na'Vi have done a wondrous job so far now. Starting to connect in. 3% now, and Tyrant with a lovely takedown will take the game.
Na'Vi are getting beaten in the middle of the map for a second set in a row. Really struggling to take control of that hot zone out of that sort of one instance. As Livy is an absolute menace on this Sprout.
It's a great third and final pick, isn't it? It really is, and Na'Vi are struggling with it. Just maybe could have gone in with something else just to free things up. Oh, the value of that. Cubic left on 30 HP, and now everyone able to focus their attention on both Angel Boy and Cubic. Tyrant goes down, but that ball is just going to keep cycling in as Livy is getting so much value from this Sprout.
And some free time on the point there, obviously, after that hedge came out. Now is Livy in a bit more of a vulnerable position, but Tyrant chimes in instantly. And Angel Boy has tried to make a lane swap here to find a better angle, but Zulan has eluded him thus far. Oh my! Dropped the base, actually almost claiming the life there of that bell. But Na'Vi going to have Angel Boy sit in the bleachers for the time being, to return only when 2 of his teammates are down. This is devastating for Na'Vi.
Tyrant is being a tyrant right now, isn't he? He's forcing Na'Vi to the right-hand side into the path and the firing range of Zulan. And he has a super, if he gets that connection, the miss mark. Angel Boy is going to be costly too. Penny Tyrant not going to connect as everyone on the side of Tribe keeping themselves moving. And now almost 20% left, and this set is Tribe's.
Cubic trying to move up here, but again, at best, it's a 2v3 for Na'Vi for much of the round. Always lacking that one player, and Angel Boy again eats another one from Zulan. He's on the right side lane. Tyrant's going to fly away in celebration as Tribe rack up another one.
It is looking like a day so far. No sign, really, of any black and yellow. Going into this next set, Na'Vi are going to have to start to make some changes. The drafts at the moment for me is where that starts, and just kind of not foreseeing what is to come.
Еще last катка, match point.
A little bit, some risky ideas. At the moment, I don't mind risk as long as it starts to pay off.
Если они проиграют, то все, они уже не смогут первое место никак занять. Если они проиграют, то все, они уже никак первое место не займут. Остался последний шанс. Последний шанс, ребята, остался у них. Если они сольются, то все. Это GG. Последний шанс.
Tribe Gaming, of course, you know, came second in the season 1 of Snapdragon Pro Series. They didn't quite qualify for season 2 this time around for those challenge finals. And look at there, as Livy 9 to the 6 and the 6 of Tyrant and Zulan. But on the side of Na'Vi, just one singular takedown for MMA, one singular takedown for Cubic. And Angel Boy was doing a lot of those heavy lifting there. I just worry a little bit for Na'Vi at this stage. We haven't really seen enough resolve so far, and Tribe's confidence now is just kind of growing and growing.
Look, you know, don't blame MMA.
Не самый жесткий Tribe. Согласен, согласен. Очень вовремя.
It's just this is starting to speak Navi to me already, and that gives me some confidence. If they combine this with Poco, then Tribe could be in with a bit of trouble. I mean,
here's a question for you.
Counter.
Does Montage reflect Ems's spray?
Good question, actually. Yeah. It should.
Right?
Yeah, it's only a throws intend to. So yeah. It's still early days, of course, with Buster, but yeah, it should do.
Keep an eye out for that one. And Gale's interesting. We've seen Gale get really punished when he's picked early in the order, when he falls down to a lot of those sort of more ranged brawlers. But this is the kind of map where tough to have that kind of success. It also means that there's like a preemptive. Also, if Ems wants to try and come up with that caustic charisma.
Смотри, если они даже проиграют, они уже никак первое место не смогут занять. Первое место они уже никак не займут.
Really start to tackle the Buster problem, and it was very interesting to watch just a couple of weeks ago when I saw it, but it actually did make a lot of sense. And Tribe Gaming NA just demonstrating just how on the ball they
Последний шанс остался.
How to handle a really tough brawler like Buster. But it is a very strange comp, from Tribe. There's not much to kind of have in terms of synergy, but Ruffs could be the answer to that question, just having some support there to everyone.
I will
say, pretty darn close range composition here for Na'Vi, so Ruffs definitely must feel pretty decent for Tribe, give them more of an opportunity to get arm's length. And big question for me is, what is his last pick here? What do we go for here? Cubic and Angel Boy obviously already locking in. Not sure where Alex is. He's looking on from the sidelines.
А так, наверное, посижу, мне надо очки подзаработать до косаря.
There you go. Love it. Yeah, absolutely so. I mean, Buster is already a very nerve-wracking.
Помните, в прошлом году этот был? Джейл, как там его звали-то? Вместо Ангел Боя этот был. Как-то на Джи называется, чел такой тоже хорошо играл на Мортисе. На Мортисе вообще хорошо играл. Как там его зовут? Забыл. Боже, кубик.
Yeah, but I did like the way that Zulan approached it, and Tribe just got to be a bit more cautious again. Oh, what a double stun from MMA. Beautiful teamwork there from Navi. Can they get the ball? No, just going to play it slow. But as now Cubic comes back in, it does lead to some potential. Great break as well from Tyrant, going to open up some space.
Джейсон, да, вот Джейсон. Он хорошо играл на Мортисе.
Here's ЕСЛИ now, getting a lot of scouting done, of course, with that primary fire. All of Na'Vi forced to try and leave the grassy area. Remember, that ball is still back in that corner here. Tribe looking to try and gain an advantage before they really start to move up. Zulan now retrieving the ball.
Again, MMA stunning out ЕСЛИ and leaving him like a sitting duck there. Cubic coming through as well. The pass can be there. It is. Will the goal happen? There's the friend zone coming in though, and the super to follow up. Beautiful defense from Tribe.
Yeah, love the knockback there from that Ems gadget. Gives just enough breathing room to make sure the bus is breathing nothing but fumes. Again, ЕСЛИ wants to try and hold them down on this right-hand side. Ball has moved up here. Montage from Cubic now, but Tribe weren't born yesterday. They knew to hold their shots. Cubic is going to struggle there.
Кубик, что ты творишь?
Supply drop pickup is also there, but ЕСЛИ getting a ton of value there. But MMA can put down a twister here. He probably will do. He's spying his time, doesn't want to bait it out too early. I do like that strategy, and there's not really much the Tribe can do here unless they try to go on the aggressive, try to focus their attention on Cubic and Angel Boy.
That's a nice little super there. Only ЕСЛИ caught with the stun, but it does pave the way. Angel Boy wanted to move up, but Cubic got taken down.
Может, шанс еще.
This supply drop starting to really have an impact, ramping up the lethality from the Tribe squad. No score yet with 25 seconds left in the round, and again, overtime definitely on the table.
You've got to admire the patience of MMA. He really is holding up this game so far. Tribe are in a position where they're trying to bait out the gadget, and he's just not giving them an inch. He knows that he can utilize that in overtime. As we're going into that in 10 seconds, speed at just the right time, the ball coming through. Can they make something of this opportunity now for Navi?
Zulan tries to go for the super. Going to be harder and harder to get.
Good idea была выпнуть туда.
ЕСЛИ with the ball as we move up the middle of the map. And Cubic has Montage available, looking for Angel Boy, of course. Let's Go's popped, and Na'Vi start to spread a little bit. Montage now being going to be forced into the background. Costly Charisma used, but it's not going to be enough. Angel Boy's able to find the kill, but Tyrant's there. MMA's a little bit low, this close from being frozen, but he's able to dodge the shots for the time being. Can barely say the same for Angel Boy. He and Tyrant leave each other black and blue.
Now the speed coming in, and that is a concern, but ieSLI just knows to spray down that ball and try to deter the situation. It's going to be so close, but I feel like Na'Vi have got some good momentum. If Angel Boy goes down, though, that could change things. Cubic as well needs the speed to back up, and he does go down. A great opportunity, but can Tribe seize this?
Cubic might have to
Нет,
try and
нет, нет,
force back
парни,
in, but the
парни,
super,
парни.
yeah, he pops it straight away, sends it into this direction. Cubic will fall now. 7 seconds left in the round. Angel Boy's going to force them back, and a score is unlikely at this stage.
Ну хоть ничья,
No
ху.
super shot for Angel Boy. There won't be a
На Ангел Боя
conversion.
были большие шансы. Ну хоть
First round, it's the
ничья.
draw.
I've got to be honest, I felt like when Na'Vi was setting up going into overtime, they were going to try to go for that goal-scoring opportunity. It felt a bit strange to me that they just kind of left the ball out there for Tribe to do something with, and maybe they just felt like they didn't have the utility they needed to go on the aggressive, but nonetheless, I just felt like that was a good opportunity missed, but a chance to reset, and that's going to be arguably more so in favor of Tribe, actually.
Really feel like MMA's had the better of ieSLI a lot of the time in his side lane. Punishing with that Gale Force, getting stun connection.
Кого понабирали в Нави?
Surf him out, push him back towards his side of the map. Can do, pop by Zulan. Cubic now trying to pinch and...
Давай, ну.
This is looking scary now. It's only going to be Tyrant standing. Cubic.
Хорош.
Or at least he will. Needs to send a message first.
И
Message received.
будешь что-то делать, я тебе...
Yeah, it's great to waste that bit of time because you just never know at the end of the game how it's going to fare. If Tribe are going head first towards the goal, and that is the thing which prevents it from happening, it's going to be money in the bank. But they are
Хорош
behind now
парень.
under pressure. Cubic with a great positioning over the ieSLI there, and a very swift takedown. Beautiful stuff. Angel Boy coming through. Cubic.
Тупой!
For a misplay is a missed opportunity. Big time for Na'Vi. That is showing me a sign of nerves.
Тупой!
Not the kind of moment Na'Vi would like to remember. In fact, I'm sure they're going to put it behind him as quick as possible. Another super here from Zulan. MMA definitely steps outside the ring. Not
Руина.
in his personal life, but bit of a mix up here. MMA again with Gale Force in hand. Tribe have to play more assertively here, but they're scared of just running into Buster randomly amongst this grass. Cubic as well is able to stay outside of that super, but it creates some space here for Tribe. He's going!
Caught with nowhere to go, and frozen out as well. Can ieSLI get this ball forwards? Enough, because MMA can twist this, and he does do it at the perfect time. But the amount of momentum...
Руина!
Tribe will score!
Руина! Ты мог гол забить нормально! Нет!
ieSLI just recovers the ball and makes the perfect shot to that left corner. Now things get a little bit interesting. Angel Boy gets caught out there by Tyrant. We've got 27 seconds left.
This is a great chance for Tribe to get their supers rolling. As soon as the boxes go down, try to get that shot off, and Tyrant in a great position here. If he gets down MMA, that's a great person to have out of the mix there. The speed from Angel Boy going on the aggressive. The ball passed through from ieSLI. Lovely timing on that. Taking their time to score. As Tribe
Сухую!
move on to match point.
Сухую! Ё-моё!
Some of the tough moments for
Плакала,
Na'Vi,
что
they're really holding on a
один.
big missed opportunity here.
Yeah, we said, didn't we? Like, looking back, it was going to be a costly one, and that was the moment there. And
Could have ended the round right there.
Куб
possibly
руина!
so. I mean,
Боже
it
мой!
was one of those moments that goes to show the LAN experience difference. You know, as we were discussing coming in, and Tribe have got that under their belt more so. It's a tough thing, you know. A
Ну
lot of
Куб
people here, a
руина,
lot
но
of
он
pressure.
мог нормально забить гол и все. Ну нет, надо было
This might be
ему.
it for them. Cubic barely hanging on. ieSLI also looking pretty haggard there as he's forced to back away. No more second chances for Na'Vi here as ieSLI goes for that caustic charisma, forcing Cubic back here and also scouting those bushes for anyone else.
Yeah, they're just taking their time. Speed coming in from Na'Vi, and they've got to just make sure that they get some takedowns. ieSLI gonna go down here. But the ball in a good
Руина.
spot. Tyrant as well can use that super if he needs.
My goodness.
Да-да-да, согласен, Эль.
Quite grasp it at the same time. I think there wasn't a chance to shoot, but ieSLI just coming in and causing a bit of a body block there.
Another Gale Force.
А, еще катка идет, я думал, все уже.
Cubic starting to converge on them now, but Angel Boy has to back away.
Я думал, все они. Мне кажется, он еще.
Cubic's gonna flatten ЕСЛИ once more. This is dirty stuff.
Cubic gonna go in. Oh! Zulan out of position there. A lifeline for Navi.
The audacity of that goal. The no was in disbelief. But Navi hanging on. The only way they know how at this point. Angel Boy punished though on the middle part of the map, getting a little bit too close to ЕСЛИ and Co. Cubic was super. Back into the corner. Tyrant. Oh my goodness, that's a close one.
Well, Navi just looking to regroup. They would prefer to approach this as a three-piece.
Getting locked in.
Cubic's got his super as well and will use it, but actually cancelled a bit of a misclick there.
Patient
Great
from
value.
Angel Boy. MMA goes for the twisty on the right-hand side, but he's going to get brought down. It's just Cubic. Cubic versus the world. Still enough. One apiece with 27 seconds left.
Смотрю на ММА и так жалко.
The momentum on their side and Angel Boy brings in some speed. But Cubic is worried about the threes. He can't go in.
Смотрю на ММА, так жалко его.
MMA with great stun again. But Cubic can't really push this at the moment. He's open.
Он скилл!
Huge miss. And Tribe Gaming an A will take it home.
Они не смогли забрать. Они не смогли забрать одного челика.
Really hotly contested brawl ball set. But for Navi, them coming alive. It was just too late. Ahead of steam built up by Tribe NA, and even with Captain MMA at the fore, it's not enough for the CIS region team.
Very dominant stuff, you know, wasn't it? It was Tribe giving an A, just another day back in the office. The energy, the flamboyance of this team and confidence that's going to be going through to that next round. They're looking scary, aren't they?
Ладно, ребят, я с вами, короче.
Very, very scary.
So important for this
Сегодня все.
front foot after having a frankly awkward last couple of months. They've seen the rest of their own region rise up around them, and I'm sure at times they've questioned, do we still have it takes to dominate at the global level?
О,
The
угадал.
answer to that is yes. The
Короче,
EMEA's
всё.
number 5 seed